Welcome back to America Trends. I'm here with Brad Costanzo from Brad Costanzo. Actually, it's just Costanzo Marketing Group. There is no Brad. We dropped the Brad.
Exactly.
Just Costanzo Marketing Group. So he is the CEO and founder of Costanzo Marketing Group. He also has a hit podcast called Bacon Wrap Business.
Yes, sizzling hot business advice guaranteed to make you fat. Profits.
Profits. I love it. I love it. So I want to ask you a little bit about your business, and you have several businesses, and you're a consultant for some celebrities. I don't know if you can name drop, but feel free. And you've actually met some celebrities we may talk about from the trending topics in the news. But I want to first ask you, when you woke up in the morning, right? You've got a business to run, several businesses, some startup businesses as well, and you've got to give people advice. And you see in the news, in your news feed, friends, we both have mutual friends, Perry, out there in Vegas, and they're talking about this. What do you do? How do you process? And then how do you pick yourself up and go forward to take on the day?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think everybody woke up to that, right? Because it happened overnight. I woke up, I saw it, and immediately I just go to being grateful and to think about all the good things that are going to happen. I realize that babies will be born today, people will fall in love, people will have amazing experiences, and tragedies like this are unfortunately becoming a little bit more common, or at least we're hearing about them more often because social media is so pervasive. And one of the very first things I did today was on my browser on my computer, there's a Chrome browser plugin called Facebook Newsfeed Eradicator. So I click one little button and then my entire newsfeed disappears. So even if I go to Facebook, I don't see it. So I don't think it is burying my head in the sand. I realize, I grieve, and my heart goes out to everybody, but I also realize that we have to focus on the good things because there's a lot of great things in this world.
Right. And we don't always see that in the news. We don't see people saying, hey, a baby was just born today, right? Typically the only time we see that in the news is New Year's Eve, right? Or Valentine's Day, if it's a holiday and a baby was born.
It's unfortunate that the truth is in media, if it bleeds, it leads. And it's one thing to see this and acknowledge it and to feel for it. It's another thing to get sucked into it and to let it control your mood. A friend of mine he was recently a guest on one of my shows, named Alan Stein Jr., posed the question, are you being a thermometer or a thermostat? Right? So a thermometer reads the temperature, it reacts to the temperature. A thermostat sets the temperature in your life. And I loved that. It's like I can be a thermometer and react to what's going on in social media and the world, or I can be a thermostat and change it to where I'm affecting my life as opposed to being reactive.
Yeah, so it's focusing on what you want to be and then affecting the world around you.
Absolutely, because there's nothing else we can do.
And I see you as a realist, but yet you have a positive spin on things. That's typically how I see it. You don't see things worse than they are, you don't see things better than they are, but you seem to choose to say, let's focus on the good.
Absolutely. And we all have that ability. So even when things get at the absolute darkest, we can't control what happens, but we can control how we react to what happens. And how we react to what happens starts with how what we're thinking about. And we all have a choice.
When did you first start your Bacon Wrap podcast, Bacon Wrap Business podcast?
About 3.5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your sexiest guest so far?
Sexiest guest. Well, you haven't been on the show yet.
No, I haven't.
So it will be yourself.
Good thing I asked that before.
Sexiest guest. Oh, I don't know. I'll have to think about that.
Most interesting guest?
Most interesting guest was probably Jesse Itzler. So he is the author of the book Living with a Seal.
Great book.
Right?
I actually read that book via audio on the plane ride to Hawaii because it's like a 5-hour audio book. He reads it. And it was so entertaining that when I was landing, I was about 20 minutes away. And I'm like, can we just keep flying around Honolulu Airport before it lands? Because it's so riveting.
Yeah, it's hilarious. And I mean, he's such, I always tell him, to me, he is the Dos Equis guy, right? He's the most interesting guy in the world. He's got such a varied background with entrepreneurism and endurance athletics, et cetera. And now I'm lucky to be working with him directly on some of the stuff and initiatives that he's working on. So it's probably my most interesting guest. Until you come on.
We'll have to plan that.
Next.
Now, what's interesting too about that is your podcast, because we both recently went to a conference and I kind of started tweeting up a firestorm because somebody said that podcasting was dead. And I'm like, pod is not dead. And that's one of the interesting things I think that you focus on is it's not always necessarily even the podcast channel itself, but it's how do you leverage it. Now, this gentleman focuses only on his audience. You focus primarily on your guest.
Yeah, I like to say that I have the most selfish show on iTunes, because I really think of my audience last. I think of I'm going to spend time with the guests, talking to them and being curious about what they have to offer, and I want to get something out of it. So I'm going to ask the questions that I want to know.
Yeah. I agree. Well, and I love it, and I laugh, and I think that's what I like about having you on the show, is that you're going to help lift our spirits up. You're going to talk about something good. You're going to do some rapid fire questions after about trending topics. A trending topic, there's two things. One is today is National Name Your Car Day, and I love your car. I think of you as the Iron Man guy. So do you have a name for your car?
Well, it's got to be Tony Stark. So I drive an Audi R8, and it's the car that Tony Stark drove in Iron Man. So yes, I mean, obviously it's got to be Tony.
It is such a sexy car. I love that movie. I think it made those car sales like just skyrocket. I mean, because if you want to be Iron Man, you want to have that car. Right? Do you feel a little bit like Iron Man?
A little bit.
Oh, and I wish we had this footage. We're going to have you back on the show, because you also did the little jetpack.
Yes, I did. Yes, combine the two.
Yeah, so here in Mission Beach, there is a activity sports center where you actually get on a jetpack and it propels you into...
Water jetpack, yes.
So how does it work?
It's propelled by water. There's a jet ski behind it, and it sucks the water in, and then it comes up through the hose that's strapped to your back, and it forces water like a fire hose, only much stronger, and it shoots you up out of the sky. So it was awesome.
So you really do live the Tony Stark life.
A little bit.
Now, also trending in the news last Thursday was Hugh Hefner dying. Yes. Friend of yours, perhaps?
I wouldn't call him a friend, but yes, I did meet him.
So I heard you were at his mansion before he died?
Amazingly. So I woke up, I saw the news that Hugh died at 10 o'clock the night he died. And the next morning, Facebook, whenever you log on, it has that on this day.
Right.
So on this day, I think it was 2008, what is that, 9 years ago?
Yeah.
It showed my pictures at the mansion, and it just so happened that I was at a party from the entrepreneur organization was hosting at the mansion, and I just happened to be there 9 years to the day that he died.
Same day he died?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Wow,
Very
so it was a crazy party?
Yes, it was crazy.
So, and I think the argument is whether Hugh Hefner, did he have a positive or did he have a negative impact on the world? And we want to hear from our viewers. You can tweet me at CoachDeb and let me know, what do you think about Hugh? And if you use hashtag TrendsTV, you can follow each other's conversation, or you can go to Facebook page at America Trends TV and share your comment there about what you think about Hugh, and also weigh in on what you think of Brad Costanzo. We'll have a picture of him on there. See, handsome, is he living the Tony Stark lifestyle? Any tips for him? And then be sure to subscribe to his Bacon Wrap Business Podcast. We'll be right back on America Trends.